What's going on, guys? Welcome back. In today's video we're going to talk about traffic management system exploitation. Specifically, to demonstrate this concept, we will be taking a machine from TryHackMe called Plotted-TMS. Stands for Plotted Traffic Management System. In this machine there is an instance of traffic offense management system installed, and it's an open source program to just manage drivers and their offenses or violations. It's open source. You can find it on the internet with a couple Google searches. Does this represent the full reality of pen testing traffic management systems? Of course not. This is only a small simulation, right? We're just gonna see how we can exploit open source programs to manage traffic and drivers. So in this machine we have a traffic offense management system installed and runs on port 445 protocol HTTP, so it can be accessed through the web. Now once we navigate to the page, we will see a login page. So what happens there, we have two methods to exploit the system. The first one is through exploiting the vulnerable version. The version is 1.1.0 and it is vulnerable to actually multiple vulnerabilities. One of them is Sql to RCE. So through Sql Injection we can execute remote code on the machine to get shell, and there is an automated exploit that can be found using search exploit. The other method is to find a single point from which we can upload reverse shell, and this is actually upload vulnerability. So these are the both methods we can demonstrate in this video to exploit this. Now once we land the foothold on the machine, we have to conduct two steps for privilege escalation. The first one will be to exploit cron tab and will land us as plot admin. Plot admin is a more privileged user than data, but it is still less privileged than root. And from plot admin we need to go to root through binary exploitation. So through root here, all right, we need to go through binary exploitation. There is a binary called do as. This do as binary, what it does, the function of this binary is actually it's similar to sudo, lets you do something as another user. When you open the configuration of this binary, which is located at /etc/doas.conf, we will see that we can actually run do as with OpenSSL as root, and through this we will be escalating from plot admin to root. Alright then, so let's now jump to the practical scenario and demonstrate all of this. Okay, so the first thing first, we did an nmap scan on the machine. We noticed we have three open ports: 22, 80, 445. Oh my god, okay, 445 on HTTP. So we have two actually web servers running, one on port 80 and one on port 445. Now since this is a CTF challenge and not an actual pen test, I'm gonna skip right to the correct way. So even if you navigate to port 80 and conduct all sort of information, you're gonna find some stuff, but it will not be that useful for this challenge. So let's go right to the 445. Okay, so let's copy the machine IP address and 445. It opens the default Apache 2 page. So from this point on we need to conduct directory search, and since this is actually a repeated step, a recurring step every time we need to do, I'm not gonna do it now. You just can type, just type go buster. You can specify the IP address here and specify your word list, and you will end up with actually couple searches, couple results. One of them will lead you to /management. So once you open the /management, you will land at the official page of Traffic Offense Management System. And this is actually the page, the real page used by this source or by this program. We have a method. We have one option actually is to log in, and here we have paragraph code of the day. This actually can be configured once you log into the interface to display whatever you want to display to the public. So let's log in. So we have here a login form, and the first thing that jumps to mind is to try SQL injection. And indeed, the traffic offense management system for this instance has been made vulnerable to SQLI, just to make it easy. And what you can do here, you can just type code, the very basic payload of SQL injection, which makes the statement all the time true and results in admin access. So if you don't know how this works, you can go back to one of my SQL injection tutorials. I explain in depth how manual SQL injection works and why this payload and similar payloads would result in admin access. So for the password field, no need to type in the password, since the password field will be ignored by the -- here. So -- makes everything commented out after the username. So that's why we don't need to input the password. Sign in, and you are in. See, this is the Traffic Offense Management System, the open source version. If you try to just explore the program, you go to, first we have the dashboard, displays statistical information about the offenses, the drivers, and the total offenses. You can go to offense records. You can see here the offenses that have been created. As you can see, for every offense there is date and time, ticket number, license ID, and the officer who created the offense. You can create a new one if you want, create a new offense, and you can also add it to an existing list. For example, the current offenses we have here: driving without license or running over speed limit. If there are more offenses we need to add to the system, we can just add from the offenses list here, and we can expand the system more by adding more offenses, by the way. And whenever there is an offense, we can add it here in the offense list. And from here we can select a driver. Of course, in a real scenario, all of the drivers will be registered in the driver list. So say you have around 200,000 drivers, and the administrator of the traffic management systems will be logged in every day. They will be managing the offenses, monitoring the offenses, and once an offense is noticed or recognized or witnessed, they will just go to offense records and add a new offense, assign it to an existing driver, an existing list, the status, paid or pending. Paid or pending indicates whether the driver has actually paid the fine for the violence or the offense or not. So in the case if it was pending, it means the driver had not paid the offense yet or the fine. Ticket number, officer name who has registered, and that's it. Now if you go to drivers list, we see a list of drivers. We have an example driver here. We can create a new one. You can assign their license number, civil status, fill out personal information about the driver, and you see here we have one choice to upload. Since we are logged in as the administrator admin account, we can just upload PHP reversal here, and we can get the first foothold. I'm not gonna go this path. It's very repeated, and most of you know how to do this. Now let's go to reports. Here we can specify period of time and see the total fines, total offenses that happened in this time range. Offenses list, we can create a new offense list here, create a new one, add description, and save it. User list, we have one user, the administrator of the system. In more real scenario, we will have hundreds of administrators, not hundred. Let's say in a single city, you're gonna have around like 30 or 50, depending on how large the city is. Settings to customize the settings of the management system, and here you have how to to personalize or customize the homepage of the traffic management system. And actually here it is vulnerable to what we call it XXS. So if we try here script, the basic one, right? Alert XXS. Okay, script. Let's copy that in case we needed to do further modifications on that. Go to, where is the save button? Update. You see popped up, as you can see the browser has popped up XSS, which means it's vulnerable to reflected cross-site scripting. I'm just gonna go back here and return everything to normal. Update. So we still have it here. I think it is reflected, right? No, it's stored. Actually, yeah, reflected. So let's go back now to drivers list, dashboard. So if you look at the bottom right here, you notice the developer and the version of the current instance of this app. So since we have the version now armed with the version information, we can go to search exploit and search. So ls cd plotted search exploit, traffic offense management 1.0, and we have couple vulnerabilities. So if you notice, most of these vulnerabilities are between authenticated and unauthenticated. We can actually use all of these exploits since we have authenticated access. But this authenticated access is actually not valid if the application is not vulnerable to SQLI, which means we need to go for unauthenticated. We don't have the username and password. I know you can go to my account and here you can reset the password, I guess. Yeah, you can reset the password and you can turn your access into authenticated. Hence you can try the authenticated ones. This one is SQLI. We have already tried this, demonstrated that. Now we're gonna try this one. So this one directly yields or a shell by just doing RCE. So let's take a look at the script. ls 5. So the script here is kind of interactive. As you can see, once you launch the script or the exploit, it takes the URL. So in this case, we're gonna supply it with the URL we have, along with the port and the page itself, /management. Next, what's gonna do, as you can see, check the address, bypass login using SQLI, upload the shell, and done. So this program or this exploit directly lands us a shell. Now let's see, there is one line we need to modify, and you will find out yourself. By the way, you can run the script without modifying anything. It will just give you an error. The error will be at this line. It's going to complain that there is no address here to which the exploit will be posted or will be uploaded. So basically you have to specify at this line while true where the CMD parameter is mentioned. So in here we specify the IP address of the target machine and the port. Since the IP has changed, I'm gonna modify this one and update this with the correct IP address. So here is the correct one. All right, and that's it. So one thing to mention, guys, is that the exploit now uploads the shell at this address /management here /uploads, as you will see, and it uses the cmd parameter to execute whatever commands you want. So after we land a shell, all the commands that we execute against the machine will be conducted through the cmd parameter. Let's save this one and run the exploit. So first thing is the URL. So let's apply with the correct URL. Now everything is done. We can just try that ID data. Since this will not be a stable shell, we will need to move to a more stable one, which means we're gonna need to open a new tab, and here we open a listener. So you may be thinking that we can just execute whatever commands we want here and it will leave the shell here. I tried this. I tried to execute netcut one-liner in here and it didn't work. So what I realized that I needed to do that through the browser. So in here I opened a new tab, taken the URL, went to uploads. How do I know that? If you go back at the command line here, type pwd, we are under var html management uploads, so under the uploads directory. If you ls, you see there is one file called evil numbers followed by evil.php. This is the exploit, or this is the shell actually that has been uploaded by the exploit we just run, which means what we can do here, we can use this exploit actually, which is actually the case. This shell is being used to execute commands. So what is actually taking care of all the commands we issue here is this one. So we can use this one actually to execute commands through the browser as well. So let's copy that, going here and adding the name and then the cmd parameter. As I have just illustrated when I explained the exploit, we have the cmd parameter through which all commands are being executed, equal to, and here I'm gonna grab one-liner netcut reverse shell. Of course we're gonna need to encode this with the URL encoder. So here as is, say 4545, I'm using perp suite encoder. My IP address now, if config, this is my IP. So make sure this is encoded as URL. This is the result. Copy that and paste it here. Enter. And we get, as you can see, the connection back. So leaving this here, we're gonna take care of the rest of the work in here. So the first thing, we stabilize the shell. Let's go through the steps of stabilizing our shell by first issuing a TTY. Let's see, where is the TTY? Yeah, Python TTY. And then we're gonna need to export the xterm, Control Z, and lastly we execute this from our machine. And finish it. Now we can execute whatever commands we want in a stable way. So now the first step is to conduct privileged escalation. And as I mentioned in the very first of the video, we take a look at the cron tab. So cat etc cron tab. etc cron tab. Alright, so taking a closer look here, we can see we have one script is scheduled to run, and it is actually being run under the user plot_admin. The script is located under slash under the scripts directory. Let's take a look now. The very first thing, we take a look if we can override the script. So we navigate to the directory. This is the backup script. Unfortunately, only the owner and the group are able to modify the script. So we can see if the data user is actually part of plot_admin group by typing groups data, and we see that the user data, which we are right now, is actually only under data group and doesn't belong to plot_admin group, which means we cannot just practice or enjoy accessing these rights, read, write, execute, and the public only can read the exploit. So we can actually only read the script, sorry, not the exploit. So what to do now? If we cannot just modify the script connected to the cron job, it means we can do nothing. Yeah, technically at the very first or at the hint site, yeah, we can do nothing, but we can go back and see if we can write on this directory, which is scripts. As you can see, the scripts directory, the owner of it is data, which means we can create whatever contents we want to create under the scripts directory. So we go back to scripts, and here we plan our next step. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna create one script or a script, right? This script will be, or we will modify. So under the scripts directory here, we're gonna create one small script. The smallest script actually will be either replace the backup.sh. It could have the same name, or we can create symbolic links between our script and the backup.sh. So when backup.sh is executed, ours is executed as well. Or you can just create your own script under the scripts directory and replace backup.sh with your script by making them with the same name. Since we are doing this for the purpose of demonstrating pen testing methodology, we cannot just touch the assets of the owner of the machine. We're gonna leave it intact, which means we're going to create our own script, name it, and create symbolic link between backup and our script. So let's now craft the content of the script. The first thing, we're going to copy the bash binary, all right, into home plots admin and name it as admin shell. What happened? Okay, let's do this. Admin shell. This is not good. What is happening? Echo cp bin bash. Let's do this. Let me write the full command here in my own machine. So the first thing, copy the binary bash into home underscore plot admin, and the name of the script say will be admin shell. Give admin shell execution permissions and the suit bit so that this shell is executed under plot admin. So add s and the path of the script, home or the shell plot admin shell. This is the contents of the shell we will create, or the script we will create. Output this, into, say, shell adm dot sh. So let's copy that. So what's gonna happen now? This is the contents of the script that we will create under the scripts directory, right? The script name will be shell admin or shell admin. So paste it where? Here. Let's remove that. All right. See, now we have a new file called shell admin. Let's give now shell admin execution permissions. Lastly, let's create now the symbolic link between shell admin and backup, so that when backup is executed, so does shell admin. So link dash sf. The first thing is the source script. Source script will be shell admin, and lastly the destination will be backup. All right. All we have to do now is to wait. Wait for what? Wait for backup.sh to be executed. Once it is, so does shell admin. When shell admin gets executed, the contents of it will be executed as well. So it will move, or it will copy bin bash to a file called admin shell and gives it execution permissions. So after this is executed, we can go to this directory and execute admin shell, and it will give us shell under plot admin for two reasons. Sorry. The first one is that shell admin is executed under plot admin for reasons have to do with the cron job itself, and the next reason is that we give it suit bit set so that when you execute admin shell, it will execute under plot admin. So now let's try to execute plot admin shell -p, and as you can see right now we are admin shell. Type who am I, and we are plot admin. So that is the first step to rooting the machine. The next one is to conduct the next, or the second privileged escalation, which is finding a way to escalate to root. Now there are multiple methods, of course. You can use limpiece. You can try yourself by finding the binaries which have the suit bit set. So what you can do here, you can type find dash type file, or wait a second, let's remove this one, and now let's think about having a more stable shell before we escalate to root. So right now we're admin shell. Let's see if we can create our own SSH key, copy the SSH key to the authorized keys of plot admin, and have an SSH access, which would be more stable. Now we go to our machine. As you can see, I'm under the SSH directory. We can create SSH-key gen to create your own public and private key. I have already done that, so I'm gonna skip this step. Else I have my private and public key. Cat my public key, and I can copy that. Okay, so we go to the machine, home, plot, admin, SSH, cd home, cd plot, there is no SSH directory here. By the way, this is the user text. We can cat its content. We can create a new one. Make directory .sh, go to .sh, and echo our public key, or my public key, what I just did, echo okay, and we output this to authorized keys. ls authorized keys get authorized keys. So this is my public SSH key. I'm gonna remove this after the video, of course. So go back here to my machine, and now I can use my private key to log in. So SSH-I, and this is it. I'm using my private key now to log in as plot admin to the machine. Now just change the IP address. Type in yes, your passphrase. Let's see now. And we have a more stable shell under plot admin. Okay then, so let's now move on to escalating to root. So what's gonna happen now? I can issue one command. Let's use the find command. Let's go to Linux. Where is Linux? Okay, find. Let's search for all executables that have the sudo bit set. I think I have this under the Linux privileged escalation, right? Find. Yep. So let's take this one. Nothing. Dash perm dash u equal s. Okay. How about if we try this one? Okay, see now we have this one, do as. This is the one that we will aim for now. So I'm gonna just skip this one, and through do as, you can go to GT of opens, search for do as. Nothing. All right. If you take a look at the configuration of do as, cat etc do as.conf, so inside the configuration, this is the problem. The problem is that, as you can see, permit no password, plot admin as root, cmd open SSL. What does this mean is the plot admin user can run as root without the need to supply password, open SSL, and execute commands through it. To demonstrate this, we can do as, right, followed by open SSL, and then to execute commands through open SSL, we type enc encrypt in, and here whatever we would like to exploit. Execute. In our case, we want to get the root flag, so root text extra arguments given. Yes, here is the dash, and this is the root flag. So this is your machine, guys. I hope you like that and found it informative, and see you definitely in the next video.